What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Drama Free Gaming. It is what it says, and it says what it is. We welcome you back to the live show here. If you're catching us live on youtube.com/Drama Free Gaming, we welcome you. Thank you. Hit that like button, leave a comment, leave some constructive criticism if there is such a thing. Again, remember, your opinion is your opinion, subjective to you, and whether or not I care, well, that's another question to be pondered for another day.
Brother coming hard already.
Savage. I'm not trying to make any apologies or become some sort of humanitarian here on YouTube or anywhere else. You know, I'm just trying to keep it real, people. But with us, the usual suspects, both of these my brothers from another mother. Let's introduce Jay first. What's going on, Jay? Talk to these people.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I know I've been on and off, but I'm back. I've had life has caught up to me, and I had to handle some things. But I'm back, and I'm good. It's good to be back. It's good to be the anti-hero that everybody's looking for.
This brother said the anti-hero. He's running from life. Like, what's going on, Jay? Like, is there a reward for you? Because I'll turn your ass in.
I know you will. Look, if there's a bounty that popped on my head, I expect everybody to be running me down right now. So, no
brothers.
But I do. I got a special message for you guys, though. To everybody that subscribed, this year.
We getting some echo on your side. If you listen to the stream, you gotta mute it on your side.
I did.
I'm
that was Henyo. Henyo's the guilty party. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Smash the like button. That's what I was trying to do.
Go ahead, Jay.
Okay. But I want to say thank you to those of you who have joined us on this podcast. The 300 plus of you that have taken the time to listen to a bunch of old men complain, have fun, listen to games. I want to just say thank you, guys, and I hope you stay with us as we continue to grow. And I'm here. I'm back now. Hopefully, I was missed.
Well, you're always missed when you're not around. I mean, you add that special kind of something. We just don't know how to end the show without, those key phrases of yours when you know that it's time to go to sleep.
That's what it is.
Yeah, there you go. At the end of the day.
It did.
It's true.
Yeah, man. We know when it's time to go hug our pillows. I don't even have to look at the clock. I'm like, we're about an hour and a half in because Jay is kind of like dismissing us already without saying a word. So. Anyway, let me introduce Henyo, and we got Nate and Caleb. Caleb is in the house in the chat. He's like, yo, let's go.
Oh, what it is, KB?
What up?
Caleb in the house. So he's joining us. He's probably going to pop in for like a second, say what's up, and then break out and go play some Call of Duty. That's what he's been doing. So
Cold War?
Yeah, the brand new one. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. What's up, man? Glad to be back on this virtual couch, hanging out. Jay, welcome back. Missed you.
Thank you.
And let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it indeed. So, let me get the niceties out of the way as I always do. Again, here obviously on YouTube at dramafreegaming.com, of course. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave a subscribe. 362 subscribers. Not too shabby. Most of those subscribers, as we're going to talk about the year in review 2020, most of the subscribers coming through this year. So, maybe the pandy has, influenced that, and you guys discovered the channel, and for whatever reason, you guys hung out, stayed here, and hopefully you're enjoying the content. Also on anchor.fm, look up DFG podcast, and on other podcast vehicles that you might use. I know Pocket Cast, I believe iTunes, and some others. I don't know. I really haven't checked, but check us out. Anchor.fm, DFG podcast. And this one is specifically DFG podcast number 40, the big 40, 2020 year in review. So Let's jump into it. Let's just, tonight we don't have an agenda, guys. We're just gonna be chatting it up, talking about 2020 and gaming and maybe some other stuff. So who's been playing what? Who wants to start off this topic?
Well, hold on. I'm not gonna ask who's been playing what. I'm gonna go with Henyo on this question.
Oh, okay.
What has been in your own opinion? What has been the major highs for gaming this year?
Oh,
that's a heavy duty question there, man. The major highs.
Yeah.
Let me start looking up on the internet.
Don't cheat.
It's all about battle royale. I mean, everyone's playing it one format or the other. Whether it's Fortnite, Call of Duty, or some other game mode. Even baseball, MLB, the show has a battle royale mode. So I think battle royale has really peaked this year. With everyone being indoors and wanting to pick fights. I think that's been the really highlight of the year, in my book.
I gotta agree.
All right.
Battle royale, yeah, the most definitely.
All right, then, Ty.
You throwing that at me, or you gonna give me something else?
Henyo gave a great answer, and there's nothing I can say to back that up. But to you, brother,
for me,
I gotta hear from you. I want to hear the all-time lows from you.
Oh man, the all-time low. Wow.
Yeah, for 2020.
I mean, I think in general, I don't want to sound happy and optimistic, but to be real, I think we were talking about it the other night when we were not recording and we were just chilling for a little while. But 2020 has been the year to game because everybody's been locked up, shut down, and if you haven't really done any gaming and found something that you have really either returned to and have fallen in love again or discovered something new, then I don't know. I don't know about what I can tell you as far as like what have been the downs. My honest truth here is a lot of people like to highlight the negatives, and it's not a lot of people. I call them the vocal minority. The people that just want to jump on one certain developer or one certain game not living up to the quote unquote hype that the people, surround and shrouded with. And at the end, it's like, you know what? Was the game that bad? Was the game not your cup of tea? Is it only like 0.1% of the quote unquote gamers out there complaining about this because they're the ones that get the game and have to make the content and all this other stuff and blah, 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 blah. I mean, it could be a more involved answer, but I don't really think that there's really been like any lows unless you've, focused on that stuff. There's been controversies, there's been a lot of that, a lot of drama, but I don't like to get myself caught up in that. I always try to look past the haze and turn a deaf ear to all the noise and try to see what's really there, in my opinion. So I don't know if that's satisfactory to you as an answer.
As I said, I don't know if it's satisfactory. But come on, man. I mean, there has to be something that happened this year in gaming that made you hang your head and go, come on, man. It has to be something.
I don't think there's anything that I can recall off the top of my head this year. I mean, I'm glad that the next gen consoles are here.
Are they? Are they here?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're here physically. We haven't tapped that. That's a whole other topic. I mean, but what I mean is that this year was weird. It was weird the way that people had to they had to adapt and overcome. And I think that's what a lot of us as gamers, whether we're hardcore, on the edge of gaming, we get the game, if there's early access, that's who we are. We're jumping in there. We're going to pay the extra money or whatever, which I think is dumb, but that's my opinion. I don't know. I can't really tell you because it's been weird like that. And I think that it kind of showed people's true colors and maybe even ourselves as gamers. I know that I looked at my backlog and I said, I got a lot of games to play to worry about if X game is going to be delayed another month,
Mhm.
3 months, a year. Like, I really wasn't looking forward to any game coming out this year. And that includes Cyberpunk. I was like, hey, I'll play it eventually, but I still
Mhm.
got so many games in my backlog. And this year was just that. And now with the Xbox Series X and the quick resume feature, yo, I play 4 games at a time. I'm playing
Nice.
more games now. I'm touching more games now. Even the game that you guys are seeing on the screen right now, it's The Last Campfire. I just picked it up. It was an indie game that I've been wanting to play. I'm enjoying it, but I'm playing that alongside Dark Souls 3, alongside Batman, alongside Dirt 5, alongside, you name it. I'm touching games and actually playing games more
Mhm.
now than ever. So I don't know. I'm not part of that crowd. Maybe I'm weird. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just me.
Hallelujah.
Pops is in the room. What's up, Population Killer?
Hey,
DFG
what up,
community in
Pop?
the house. Pops raising the hand, making sure that he's being recognized. Shout out to Pops. Hey, and I see Pops playing out there. Pops is a gamer. Like, I see him playing Monster Hunter when there's new content that comes out. If not, he's playing something else. I mean, I don't think the average Joes like us get caught up in all that mess of, this game, Halo Infinite didn't come out and that destroyed the launch of the Xbox. And oh my gosh, CD Projekt Red just screwed up, Cyberpunk 2070. Like, people just, it's a bunch of nonsense, really, to me. To me, it's nonsense, because
Well,
wait for about 6 months for CD Projekt Red to actually put the work in to Cyberpunk and patch up the game, fix it up, and do all this stuff. And then people are gonna be like, yo, this game is amazing. Wow. And all this talk that you hear now is gonna be gone. And that's been the case with so many other games.
Absolutely right.
listen, so I'm going to tackle both questions now since I did ask you guys. The first thing, and look at you guys, be just like, oh, this dude must
Mhm.
got something to say.
My ears went up.
Yeah. It
I
sounds like
know,
he
right?
wrote something down, right? But he was like, oh, yeah, we always go by the seat of our pants. But sounds like he had this
Well, we
written
do.
down and planned.
Well,
Okay.
no, this is written down.
People
But
gotta scroll.
what I wow, come on, man. But I want. But
Pops
the
in the
first
room.
thing I
Before
want.
you answer that, Jay, Pops in the room in the chat says glitches in new games really is what makes them fun. Yeah, I find a lot of glitches just like really not even worth mentioning. They're like stupid glitches. Like, okay, you're shooting and then all of a sudden your weapon is floating in the air. Okay, or your
Yeah,
character goes through, through a wall and doesn't open the door, let's say, like in this game, I caught a couple of glitches that I was playing. I'm climbing the ladder. Instead of going through the ladder, they'll just go like underneath the mountain and pop up on the top. That didn't destroy my gaming experience. Like, it's a glitch. It'll get patched, whatever. So,
Mm.
oh, okay.
but go ahead,
Now
Jay.
that now, pops, thank you for that, Pop. Now you may switch mind frames. One of the things bad I hated this year was the entitlement of gamers and how dumb they so damn smart to dumb.
Mm.
Seriously, all you do is we'll take CD Project Red, and not to mention I think CD Project Red is a great company. They do what they're supposed to do. They put out quality games. Cyberpunk 2077 was very ambitious on all sides for them. They having some hiccups right now. Anybody who's entitled, I'm sorry, I'm about to let it go tonight, but y'all need to shut the fuck up.
Mm.
Seriously. You're complaining about something that happens in gaming all the time. Name one game in 2020 that's been released that hadn't either patched or that ain't had a glitch or something. You can't. Well, then again, some of you might be able to, because there's some indie games that came out that were just fantastic.
Clean games. They're smaller too,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, but you can't expect every game to come out and be A1. Not gonna happen. So shut up. Stop being entitled. Let these game companies do what they got to do. Yes, you do have some failures. Sometimes I do understand. Marvel's Avengers. I feel sorry y'all that bought it, because I wasn't gonna buy it. And now you ain't got no player base, because you ain't got no content, because the game sucks. So I can't say nothing about that. But I can mash and destroy a whole bunch of games out here. But mainly my problem is with the gamers themselves. Shut up, stop complaining, and let these companies do what they do. Now, on the opposite end of that, sometimes it's your money. You flaunting the money for the game, you dropping the money for the game. Hey, game company, where it at? Well, we need to leave it in the oven. You know what? They telling you what's going on. Game needs to be finished. We need to extend it. They got to delay it. You guys should be happy when companies address delays. You know why? That means it's a better damn game.
I got a point to make on the side here. Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Say what you got to say.
I think the fear for the gamer is that the developer might get back to what they were promising, right? And I think the best example for that would be probably Duke Nukem, in which Duke Nukem was supposed to be this grand game coming out, and people wanted the damn game so bad, but they knew not yet, and it was always like it wasn't even like public that they were actively working on something, but the public wanted it. They just whether it was really going to happen or not, it kind of stoked the developers to say, all right, let's just get this game out and see what happens. And when they did pump out the game after many delays, and still you had that demand there, they pumped out a crappy game. I couldn't even make it like half hour through the game before I said, nope, back into your case. I'll put you on the shelf, and it's a nice little stripe right there on my shelf. Sometimes something, people want something so bad, it forces the developer's hand. Whether the developer was going to work on it or not, when they do push it out, it's an incomplete game. It's a game that's broken, and these days it's fixable because of downloadable content, right? A downloadable, game,
right?
Digital.
Yeah.
So it's fixable. They're able to patch it. Whether no matter what the case may be, no matter how bad. Division 2, how many updates did that game go through? Yeah, they kept building on it, not so much as patching it, but they kept adding stuff to it. They kept adding missions, gameplay, and stuff like that. So while they were doing that, they were also fixing and patching. But the game itself, as a whole product, wasn't shown to the public as a whole. It was done little by little, and that's becoming the standard now. We're gonna give you sign up front.
Nickel and dime you to death. That's why.
Because there's demands for for the company to meet certain deadlines. So Christmas time, you need to get this game out the door. You need to. It's not so much even about the marketing and stuff like that. It's just get it into the user's base. No matter how bad it is, they're gonna accept a patch or something on first day patch or a month later patch, whatever the case may be. Just get this game. Let the people buy it, and later on, we'll recoup from it with the game, with the base of fans.
Yeah.
So, but just get this game out the door no matter what. I think Cyberpunk should have waited till after the new year, but that's me. And that game is just sitting underneath my Christmas tree, and it's a PC version. So I know it's going to be patched. It's going to be patched at least 3 to 4 times before I even open that package.
Right. Right. I'm going to make a comment, and I want to read the chat because people are wilding in here. But Pop says he agrees 1,000% with you, Jay, when you made the comments about the glitches and all that other good stuff. Caleb is in the house, and he's saying, yo, if you could box anyone, who would you box? All YouTubers are boxing nowadays. And then he's just cracking up. And I ain't trying to box nobody. So.
Hold on. If I could box, first of all, I'm too old to box now. I don't do that. But if you want to meet me in the street corner, I'll put you to sleep, but it won't be with a fist. That's all I can say. Too old for that.
He piqued my interest. Now I got to see who I subscribe to.
Oh man.
Oh,
But yeah.
No.
But you make a good point, Henyo, about the patches of the game, the continual patches. We have a genre that has kind of like sprung up and has evolved and has become its own beast, you might say, and that's that battle royale games for service game or games as a service where it's a continual adding on to the game. You're not ever going to get a finished product, and you're fooling yourself if you think that the mechanics in the game, the actual game itself, quote unquote, the story, anything and everything in that game is going to be 100%. It's never going to be, because that's not the purpose of these games. Should we have certain expectations? Yes, we should, because we're paying the money, but our expectations, I think, should be tempered. We should understand what it is that we're getting into and not, turn around and say, oh, another piece of trash game. This developer sucks. I'm going to go right back to CD Projekt Red, right? Here is one of the only developers out here, one of the few developers out here. If you go to GOG.com, GOG.com, they own that platform, okay? So CD Projekt Red is not just a developer of games. Like, they own that platform. They got money. They don't need console players' money, okay? They could release their game in their country to PC players and they'll be fine, okay? So if you and I are whining about our game not running on our console, that's the least of their problems, okay? But here's a company that if you go to GOG.com, go check out their return policy, okay? Their return policy, and I'm bringing this up because I'm seeing they're getting a lot of crap. And again, people want to be sensationalist and they want to report and say, oh, good luck getting your money back from, CD Projekt Red if you bought the game on console. I don't know how that works, because you got to deal with Xbox, Microsoft, and Sony. But when you deal with GOG, CD Projekt Red, go and check out their policy on GOG.com. No questions asked. You could have the game, I think, like up to 30 days on your PC. And if you want your money back, you just say, hey, I want my money back, and you get your money back. And
that's line number one.
Huh? What's that?
Line number one.
Yes. And who else is doing that out there? Is Steam doing that? I don't think so. Are any of is Bethesda doing that? I don't think so. And GOG, when they put that out, a lot of people were like, yo, this is crazy. How are you going to give people back? And you know what it is? That they build trust and they build relationships with their consumer base. And then they back it by not only telling you, hey, if you're not 100% satisfied with this game, we're going to give you your money back. But that doesn't deter them from continuing to work on the game and get it right, even if it takes them 6 months or a year down the road. Look at Witcher 3. Did Witcher 3 launch in a perfect state? People probably don't remember because the game is amazing now.
I have no idea because I'm just started playing it now.
Yeah, but the game did not launch in the state that it is in, and we know it now, and people sing its praises. And that's my point, that people in the beginning, oh, the game sucks, it's trash, they let us down, blah, 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 blah. Come back to that. I'm going to play that game. I'm going to play CD Projekt Red's Cyberpunk 2077 probably a year from now. And I'm not going to have none of the glitches and none of the stuff that you guys are crying about, because I waited on the game. I got about 200 other games that I can play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the year. That's 2020 for you, because we're talking about the year in review. And I don't want to, seem like we're just talking about what's happening now, but that's been the year. Don't you guys think that that's? I mean, how have you treated this year, or how has the year treated you in relation to gaming? Anybody, just jump
Um,
in.
well, I would go back to what you said originally. All in all, it has been a year for gaming. I mean, the releases may not have been spectacular as everybody may have wanted. We had titles. We had a major AAA title drop in Last of Us 2. You either loved it or you hate it. You had Ghost of Tsushima, which came out of nowhere,
Mm-hmm.
and I love it when games do that. It came out of nowhere, and the game is a killer.
Yeah, that's Sucker Punch, right? They
And
killed it.
you got
Yeah.
Animal Crossing that dropped this year when everybody was at the height of the pandemic. Man, everybody had their Switch,
Yep.
and they want some Animal Crossing. So if you tell me this year you didn't play nothing as a gamer, like if you didn't play nothing, I'd have punched you in the mouth. I'll find you and punch you in the mouth. Come on now, don't speak blasphemy like that on gaming.
I mean, not to mention, but to mention Game Pass. I mean, Game Pass, the Netflix of gaming, and it only keeps getting better and better and better. I mean, if you can't find something on Game Pass to play, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. Pop says in the chat,
Yeah.
as far as games dying, I've seen 7 people streaming Anthem, so it's on a comeback. Yeah, Anthem is on a comeback.
Anthem ain't on no comeback. Everybody's waiting on Anthem Next 2.0 or
that game came out this year?
whatever. That's
No,
they-
it came
they-
out last year.
nothing.
Last year.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I want to know, and I know we kind of Henyo, I don't know if you were in the conversation we were watching, but most of us sat down and watched the Game Awards this year. Now, first, I'm going to say this before we give our opinions. I'm not going to let the votes of journos deter my love for gaming. All right? So it doesn't matter if Last of Us 2 cleared a whole bunch of awards that it shouldn't have.
In your opinion?
And in my opinion, but
Butts his chops.
for the record, The Last of Us 2 is a pretty game. The game mechanics are, you can't go against it. I could say a lot of bad about it, but full of trash the game so much. All I can say is, if you're going to spend the money to play the game, just spend your money and play the game. Damn what anybody else has to say. Am I going to buy it? No. Am I going to play it? No. But I am going to speak kindly of the game because I can't bash it. And I don't think it deserved a lot of the awards it got at the Awards. And plus, the Game Awards was boring. That's what I get to expect. One giant ass commercial on Twitch. that's what I get to see.
Yeah, Jay's been kind of timid here on the podcast because he's had some pretty vocal opinions about, especially about the Game Awards and The Last of Us. I mean, tell us how you really feel. Come on, Jay, let loose. What are you talking about here? You're like, oh, I'm not gonna bash it. Come on now, come on. Tell the truth, Jay. Tell the truth.
Okay, first off, Last of Us 2 would be a great game if it wasn't for the damn politics. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, stop picking damn sides on gaming. Stop. Gaming, leave reality. When I play my games, I don't want to think about gender and all that extra shit. No, I don't. I want to play my game. If I want to be Marcus Phoenix, cutting down enemies, then damn it, that's what I want to be. If I want to be like Hanyo, jump on some MLB show and knock some heads and knock some runs, you know what?
You don't knock heads in MLB, bro. You play baseball.
Wait, I thought they had to fight where you can clear the benches.
Oh boy, this guy's fighting. He's fighting in every game. You ain't gonna find that in this game that's playing on the screen. I mean, if you find it, I don't know, man. This guy.
Just a side note there. MLB specifically has told Sony San Diego not to include fighting in the game.
Nah, so no clearing of the benches and stuff like that, right? So yeah.
They should have told them to kiss their ass. Nah. I'm like, nah.
So just take your base.
They finna fight. They finna fight today. Somebody's finna take this L.
Oh man. Oh man.
But
But
go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that, again, it's all where are you lending an ear to as a gamer? Because if you're not a content creator, where you have to kind of sort of, if you're gonna go with the flow, report on every last bit of quote unquote news, then you're gonna get caught up in all of that, and all of that drama with the politics and the Game Awards are, they're whatever rigged, and Jeff Keighley, he's a Sony fanboy and all this stuff. Come on now, like, you know what? I was glad that for 2020, not only did we have the Game Awards, and I think that it was produced, I mean, really good. Things went off without a hitch. We got to see a lot of games announced that are nowhere near done, but we got a lot of games announced. But we also got, it wasn't E3, but we got a solid like 2-3 months of a trickle of games coming through from IGN, from Jeff Keighley, and some collaborations that he was doing with other people. We got some dev interviews. We got to look at what PlayStation was doing behind the scenes before they announced their system. The same thing with Xbox. So there was content out there for us to really be like, okay, now was it enough? It's never enough. Was it to our liking? Not everybody's going to like it. Did they do a great job? Some people gonna say, it was trash, they should have given us more. No one's ever satisfied. But in a year like 2020 that everybody was on lockdown, man, I think we were blessed that we had something to tune into and look forward to, because they could have said, you know what, the pandies out here, we ain't doing nothing, and you would have been watching reruns of Barnaby Jones. That's what you would have been doing. So
wow, did you have to go back that far?
I'm just throwing it out there. And some people are like, what? What's Barnaby Jones? Yeah, look it up. You would have been seeing some Barnaby Jones, Magnum PI, something, some reruns of something.
Magnum PI was that joint, man. Sorry, I don't care what nobody.
See, leave it to Jay to enjoy something.
What gamers needed to kind of understand is that a lot of these developers had to shift everything from walking into an office to doing everything at home. So now, they had to do file transfers. They had to have the right hardware, locally now to their home, with this whole pandemic. So, that could have caused delays and setbacks to certain projects that were coming down the pipe. Maybe some of these games would have been coming out sooner, who knows? But, gamers needed to understand that, there was a shift in the workplace and the workflow of things, so that could have, also hampered things a lot worse. The fact that they were able to continue to produce and to, keep the work going of development, it's just great. It's lets you know where we're at.
I applaud them. I'm going to give them an applaud. Whoever you are, whether people thought that your game and your development and was trash, or whether it was a great game, whatever, you know what? I applaud you guys that y'all continue to put your head down and try to do the work that you did under the conditions that you did. I know for me that, I continued working through 2020. I count that as a blessing. It wasn't easy, and it still ain't easy, so I could just imagine again the technicalities and the strategics of how do you get a team that you would bring into a building, hundreds of people under the same roof collaborating to build this one project. Now you got people here, people there, and you're trying to build this infrastructure. I mean, it's a lot of work, man. And we just take things for granted. And here we are, want to pout and whine and, when am I going to get Halo Infinite? I hope Halo Infinite doesn't come until 2022, the end of the year. Really, to be honest with you, give me an amazing game that's going to blow my mind, that's going to be truly next gen. I don't want no, cross-gen, make it work on the Sega Master System. No, give it to me on the Xbox Series X and Series S. Like, let's get over it, people. You know, it's you want something, there got to be a trade-off. That's all I'm saying. Pop says in the chat, gaming has no place outside of the game itself. I agree with you, brother. And he says next.
You know what, Pops? I'm with you.
Yeah, and he says next will ads in games, or will be ads in games. Yeah, that's happening now. That's happening in the sports games. There's
Yep.
ads
It
all over
happened
the
in,
place.
Street Fighter.
Absolutely.
It happened in Street Fighter 5 Championship Edition as well on the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, wasn't there
So,
some
yeah.
controversy with what was this game? The NBA game, NBA 2K, where there was an actual
NBA
cutscene or
2K.
something that you could not skip. You had to see the
Yeah.
commercial.
Yeah,
That was
that's-
his
I
reason.
think so.
Yeah.
That's so low.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, guys. Those of you who are listening, those of us, most of us that are talking now, the three of us, we've been gaming since gaming was a thing. When you were called a nerd, it was derogatory.
Mhm.
All right. When I was playing Nintendo, Master System, Genesis, I was called a geek and a nerd. You know, and it sucked because, you know, you felt like you were this unknown oddity. And, you know, nobody really understood what you did. But you've been there. When you've been there through all the gaming releases, gaming console releases. By the way, this year was the worst console release I've ever seen. But
Right?
you guys got to I think it's the worst one I've ever seen. But
Interesting.
I remember, do you guys remember when PlayStation 1 first hit the market? Can you guys remember that far back?
Yeah, of course. I don't remember
Do
the
you-
struggle like there is now, especially with the ability to online order and stuff like that. That should be sitting in warehouses and just click and send.
Right.
So
I
what
agree.
about now? Let's take it back. Let's take it back to the previous generation, which is the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. When they released, they were in short. They were.
Yeah, they were in
couldn't find-
short
it was hard to
supplies.
find.
They were in short supplies.
You could find one.
Yeah.
Well, you could find one, but if you didn't pre-order, you didn't find one till like about a couple weeks later. Okay,
Yeah,
so because
yeah,
I
but-
remember pre-ordering the Xbox, and I was like, for every one Xbox, there was like 10 people picking up PlayStations at GameStop when we went and got it on release day. But if you didn't pre-order, you didn't get one till like a month out, and the games were slim to none.
Mhm.
So it wasn't like you was playing brand new games that were like, oh wow, this is amazing. Welcome to the next gen. So, and people forget that it took a while for games to come through. It took a while for systems to be more commonplace. But what did we learn in 2020 with the lockdown and everything going to, like Henyo just said, ordering it online? That you got people that are going to take advantage, of the circumstances, and they're going to make a buck. And that doesn't change. And you got,
Yeah, that's true.
that's the scalpers. It's the reality. And what did we learn? What did the manufacturers learn? What did the distributors learn? And how are they going to address it, if at all, moving forward?
Well, only time will tell that. But you would think after all the years of them doing this, they would have been ready for it. They took the whole year. We watched that the one video on the PlayStation 5 with Mark Cerny, and we were about to go sleep.
Mm-hmm.
We watched Phil Spencer talk about these systems and how good they're going to be and how powerful they are. The hype was real. Like the hype train was getting loaded and coming down the tracks full steam. Everybody was getting hyped. But then you go, oh, we're going to have a shortage. Wait, what?
Yeah, but because, they're not going to report. You see, we found this after the fact. They're not going to make part of their presentation telling you and me, the consumer, oh, by the way, we want to let you know that the RDNA CPU chip that's in these systems that is custom made. Well, we waited until the very last moment to get these chips because we were waiting for a specific set. And we didn't start producing these systems until like late August, early September. And the people developing games on them only had like 9 months to put their game on there. They're not going to tell you that, bro. Because we're going to be
I
like,
know.
you and me are gonna be like, so what? What does that mean? Like, should I get the system? Shouldn't I? No, they're gonna tell you, hey, we're developing the best system, the hardware, the this and that and the other. After the fact is when we learned, when we knew. Xbox, waited until late August of the year before it launched. So that's to start making the systems. Okay, never mind about the dev kits and all this other stuff. So I mean, there's stuff that we don't understand again, and we go back to it and we say, oh, they should have been ready. You know what? I don't think in any console launch, no one would have anticipated that the pandemic was coming. No one anticipated that we were going to be in shutdown. Nintendo made a killing selling consoles to the point that they ran out of consoles because they were selling Animal Crossing with it. And go out now. You starting now. Now you're beginning to find a Switch here and there. But they ran out. And when the Switch was gone, the PlayStation was gone, man, even the Xboxes were gone. You couldn't find nothing. Nothing, because people were at home. But no one anticipated the year that we had where everybody was on lockdown, everybody was home, and that meant more gaming. And we're talking about console, just the PC. And as far as like trying to find hardware, Henyo, you could talk about that. Trying to find CPUs and GPUs and capture cards and monitors, you wasn't gonna find nothing.
Henny, are you there?
Yeah. No, I'm taking it in. It's true. Especially with the video cards. With the new 3000 series that came out, everybody just wanted to upgrade their system to that newer, powerful card, just to sort of be prepared for what's coming. Cyberpunk and other titles that are on their way. You wanted it to be the first one. You want to have your system in place. You want to run it as soon as you get that game. And COVID just put everything back, and production is one of those things that was impacted the most.
I agree.
Yeah. And we're still talking about 2020, the year in review in gaming. This is the reality of our gaming. Like, we forget we have a very expensive hobby, but it's a hobby. And something like the pandemic shook the gaming industry. It shook the PC industry. It shook everyone.
People couldn't get to factories, to do what they needed to do to work the whole factory part of things. These are physical items. This isn't a digital content that, somebody's sitting behind a computer, typing it away. They had to physically get in there and put these pieces together and box them up and, do whatever microchipping they do. And, someone physically needed to be there, and COVID set all that back. And this is just a backlog of workload that you're experiencing right now. The timing of it is obviously awful for us without a video card or without a system.
Yeah. And
I was just going to say that. Go ahead, Jay. And I was just going to say something. No, I was going to say that Pops in the room says, feels like they only made 100 PS5s and Series X's. Yeah. I mean, I got lucky getting a Series X, to be honest. Today, before all day, I was trying to secure a PlayStation 5. Because they gave an announcement Best Buy was dropping them. Let me tell you, it was impossible. And I have the ability to be on the computer pretty much all day long. And I was on the computer all day long. And I would see it come up and try to add it to cart. It was hit and miss, but I couldn't get one. And I was like, wow, whoever got it, I mean, I don't know. It's
Knows how to
that
program
bad.
a bot.
It's that bad.
Knows how to program a bot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
I'm looking at a website called nowinstock.net,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it kind of lets you know the big vendors that, do they have stock? Are they reporting that they have stock?
Right.
Right? They're all out of stock except one place, eBay.
You know who's on eBay?
Mm-hmm.
Them scalpers.
Yeah, exactly. And
Hold on.
what?
Can I say this
Go ahead.
before you go on? If anybody out there is stupid enough, and I repeat, if you are stupid enough to drop $1,300 on the damn system, you need to be drawed, quartered, and shot.
And that's
Do
cheap.
not give
1,300. I seen them for 2 G's.
Yeah. So why would you guys give? Why would you give people extra money for something that's going to become readily available in the next few months? It ain't that serious. Next gen ain't here. We're dealing with upres right now. Next gen is not fully here.
Jay,
So
I'm gonna
don't
say one
spend
thing.
your money.
Jay, I'm gonna say one thing. I'm a dad of 2 girls. I stood in the pouring rain in front of Nintendo's headquarters here in New York City, waiting for an Animal Crossing Switch.
Well, you know what?
And I paid out of pocket in the rain on a early morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, I think it was.
Well,
Parents will go out their way for their kids to get the
Yeah.
I'm a father of 2 boys, and I can understand your plight on that. But the only difference is my 2 boys can wait. Your 2 little girls, they drop them sap up and dog guys. I understand.
Jay got his boys playing Centipede. He like
they don't know what 64-bit is yet.
Nope. He hasn't graduated them yet. He's like, you playing this and you gonna like it.
That's it. Hey, if you can't beat the first 3 levels of Ghouls and Ghosts, we can't talk.
Oh my god, bro. Savage. You talk about me. You a savage, bro. Them boys is sweating. They think that game is 3 stages long. They're in for a rude awakening. I gotta say what's up to Richard in the room. Richard says what's up. He's been in here for a while, but I want to acknowledge him. Pops is coming with the good points. He says the fact is you all are forgetting this isn't the first pandemic. This is what, like the second or third in 20 years. I feel like they could have implemented a way around stuff by now. And I'm going to tell you this, Pops. This is my 2 cents on it. I agree with you, but no one does anything unless something is on fire. Once something's on fire, people respond. People want to come together. People forget about their differences. Humanity is like, oh, kumbaya time. We all got to like make it together. And the moment that the crises, the pandemic, whatever it is done, people go right back to their comfy lives like nothing ever happened. And that's on a small scale and on a large scale.
You know what? I gotta say this, and Pops, you'll probably all of you agree on this. Half of y'all people today, if you're listening, wouldn't have made it through the 80s and the 90s. Without internet, you had magazines to read about your games.
Oh yeah.
The only thing you do is there's an article about this game. You would read it like, yo, that game's gonna be a beast.
And that was your source of information. There was nothing else to look up to until the next month.
Right.
So, and then you guys also got to think about it for the PC people. When PC was up and coming, even though it was still the best gaming machine beyond the consoles, how hard it was for these guys to learn when new tech came out in the 80s and 90s. And you talking about before the PC generation really blew up on all their hardcore, focus, hardware.
Yeah.
When graphics cards really became, whoa, that's a graphics card?
Right.
Is how much?
Yeah.
So PC guys, I mean, everybody, information was limited. Half of you would not have made it. would not.
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
it was cool. I loved it. I love picking up magazines and reading Nintendo. What was it Nintendo Power, EGM, Game Pro? I mean, there's so many of them, guys. So be thankful you live in a entitled society where all your information is here.
Yeah.
When us
Website.
old folks, we didn't have it like that.
And I was gonna say, Jay, you sounding like your parents now, and I thought we would never get to that, right? But
Oh man,
every generation lives in their time. So in a way for us to come off the top rope and smash people and say, hey, be thankful. What we're really saying, guys, is we're thankful and you guys have no clue. But the generation that's coming is going to be privy to things that you and we're going to say, man, you guys are like even further, should be further thankful that you got this, you got that and the other, because during my time, this is all we had. It's, what I'm saying? It's like every generation lives and does what they do within their generation. Like our thing, like Jay said, magazines, we were looking at the little caption pictures that were like sometimes blurry, smeared, and it was like our imagination taking over, saying, oh, this is gonna be hot. Look at the graphics on this. And it was like a little picture, like a passport picture you was looking at. But already you was playing it out in your head, and you knew when they said, oh, this game is coming out, 8 months from now, whatever, you did not miss not one copy of the magazine, and it only came out once a month. And you looked for every little scrap bit of news that you could find. So, yeah, Nate says dial-up. Y'all remember dial-up? I mean...
Oh, man, you talking about the AOL days, man, when you took 20 minutes just to get online.
The dial-up, bro. And Pop says, waiting on Nintendo Power to beat a stage. Yeah. Remember waiting on the Nintendo Power to just, let's see who cracked this? Today it's like, oh dang, this game is frustrating me. I'm just gonna look it up on YouTube.
Yeah. Also it's also beneficial. You got access to the developer's mind. So you're being exposed deeper than you were in a magazine or even a website now. This generation does, at least. Right. Before you had to get that, you had to wait for that issue to come out with the one-on-one interview. And even then the developer wasn't really spilling the beans. He was spilling the beans on his game, but not necessarily that person, that, the person. You get that now. You get to see the developer and his attitudes towards things, and why the game was developed in a certain fashion, and why it contained certain references and certain storylines and stuff like that. So this generation really gets that all right off the bat, when we didn't. We had no clue. All we knew was like what the credits would say, and that was all we knew about the developer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what else can we say about 2020? I mean, I know we've been talking about, during our time, we've taken it back. We've jumped in the time machine and gone back to the future. But as far as the way things are handled now, developers putting out these games, the way they're announced, the expectations, YouTube or any other type of social media and game content, etc. What else have we learned this year? Just being, again, restricted to where we could go and spending more time on media, more time on gaming. What else have we picked up on that maybe going forward we would like to see addressed, changed, hopefully?
That some gaming companies out here, they know who they are, need to focus on development and shut the hell up. Because some companies come out here and run their mouth too much, whether it be politics, whether it's going to be this game. How many name games that a developer has come out? We promise you it's going to be this way, and then they turn around and it's like, what but what was that we were looking at 6 months ago?
Mhm.
What is this now? You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? How
Yeah.
game developers they sell you a false bill of goods,
Mhm.
and then they come at you with the excuses. Oh, it's like, nah, dude, shut up.
Right.
You promised me this. This is what I'm expecting. But
Right.
then you want to show me piss in the bucket and expect me to believe in the kingdom.
Right.
Nah. So I think companies they need to shut up, focus on the quality of game, and focus on the money. Damn the politics. Focus on the money.
Mm.
And that's what you're gonna do.
Is there enough accountability, on the companies and the developers? It doesn't feel
Obviously
like it doesn't feel like they get punished if they put out a game incomplete, or I think it's not that they doing it on purpose. I think it's just, again, it's the rush of the circumstance. And they're okay with it. They'll be like, well, we'll have a day zero patch ready for you. We can't finish the game because the sponsors are really pushing the game to be released before Christmas, Thanksgiving, or whatever the moment may be.
So do you think we should hold the producers and the sponsors accountable for rush games?
I think it should be more on the company, because they're the ones that really doing the pushing. They're the ones that want it out the door before a certain time period. I don't think it's so much on the developers, but and I think overall, the way word spreads out so quickly these days, they're almost punished, because what's happening right now exactly with Cyberpunk, on the Xbox and the PlayStation 4, it's so crappy that the developer had to roll back and say, you know what, we'll take, we'll give you back your money. I mean, which company wants to go through that?
Well, but you know what though? That wasn't really CD Projekt Red's fault. People wouldn't leave them alone.
Right.
They had a release date. We all remember that. This is when the game's going to be released. Then they announced a delay. We want the game to be ready, and we said it in the podcast.
This is the case. Yeah, this is the case in which it was reversed roles, right? In which the consumer wanted it more than anything. The company was like, "We're not ready yet. We're not ready yet," and they made it publicly known that they weren't ready, and they even pushed the game back. But it's usually the other way around. It's usually the company that's that has the developer under their arms that say, you need to push this game out beforehand. There's no real accountability there. You understand?
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll easily give you that. Easily.
So do you guys think that, so let's put these two in comparison, and again, it could have been any other games this year. We mentioned Ghost of Tsushima. Full disclosure, I haven't played it. I want to play it. Eventually I'll play it.
Same.
But Ghost of Tsushima, it came out like almost out of nowhere. It was announced a couple years back. It was shown at E3. We knew it was Sucker Punch working on this game. They kind of went silent, put their head down. When the game came out, man, the game came out to like some raving reviews. Okay, they even came in with a multiplayer that no one expected, just to give it more life. So they took care of their business. They did what they did. But
and was there pressure from the company that that was owning the game?
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say was my point. Like, you have a game like that. Sony, obviously, Sucker Punch. Sony probably said, "Hey, take your time, make the game. We're not gonna talk about it. We're not gonna say anything. We're just gonna let you work on a timeline. When it's ready, it's ready." Not everybody has that leisure, that opportunity to do that. But do you think that let me see how I present this. Do you think that the postponement of Halo Infinite pushed CD Projekt Red and their partnership, that collaboration with Xbox, that had a big part in having to put this game out before the end of the year?
No. Because
Why?
CD Projekt Red, they don't work. They're a partnership with Microsoft, but they ain't working under Microsoft like a lot of other developers are. so they can control the timetable. So yeah, they might have taken a hit on another delay. I'm pretty sure the company's like, yo, we need it. And I'm pretty sure they're like, yo, it ain't ready. We try to avoid.
But there's a
We know
contractual agreement there. This wasn't like, that Xbox was like, we own you or anything. This was Xbox in collaboration, in agreement, in a contract with CD Projekt Red.
Well, then at that, and then in that point, all the heat CD Projekt is taking now, Microsoft needs to step up and take some of that hit too.
But why?
Because if Microsoft was pushing them to get it done, and then we talked about it earlier, it was a business thing. They looked at it as money. Hey, we want to make that money. CD Projekt Red obviously was like, yo, this ain't gonna be cool. We shouldn't do it. That's facts. You can look that up. CD Projekt Red, they already announced delays. They're like, this is gonna be delayed. It ain't gonna be ready. And if you're right, and Microsoft was on the other end going, you guys need to get that out. We tired of people complaining. You need to get it out. Then I might have to put that on Microsoft and tell Microsoft to take accountability for rushing a game that wasn't ready and making CD Projekt Red fall for it.
I mean, I don't think we'll ever know if that was the case, but I mean, it's something to think about as far as like, you have a collaboration, you have a contractual agreement. Maybe also CD Projekt Red said, hey, you know what? We're going to put out a game and we're just going to depend on the good faith of the people that what we've done in the past is that we've come through. People know us, people know our reputation, and yeah, the game is not going to be in the best state, but if people hang in there with us, they're not going to be disappointed, but it's going to take some more time, but we're going to put the game out. They wouldn't be the first to do it.
And remember, guys, CD Projekt Red, they ain't newbies to this. They know what they doing. Just bear with them.
From my understanding, it's regulated to the Xbox and to the PlayStation 4. It's not really impacting the other systems as much as it was for these older consoles. And from what I understand, that was they didn't have time to really test it on the older systems because they were so focused on the newer systems.
Right.
Can I ask you something, Henyo? Since you're more of a computer expert than I am,
Sure.
What happens when you run games your PC? If your PC can handle old tech, but you want to play new tech
Game.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're trying to develop a higher tier game on old tech. So like, how would you try to what are the benefits for that? Like,
and that's
problems.
Yeah, that's what I ask myself when these developers work on these games and they come out so glitchy and stuff like that. It's like, wait a minute, how did they test these games? What was the process? What was the hardware that they tested it out on? Because obviously it's not, for PC it's a moving target, right? Because not everyone has the same system, right? But for console, that's hard coded hardware. That's what it is. Nobody's opening it up and swapping out memory and stuff like that. So, the fact that it came out so glitchy on a console was like, okay, well, what's going on here? And obviously they state that, not enough testing went into the older consoles. So, when you try to play a newer game on older tech, you're going to start off at a bad place. You're going to soon realize, man, I need to lower these settings. Right. And if you look on the PC side, there's a crap load of settings, from shadows of the grass blades to the fog, the field of, the field of view. There's a setting for mostly anything that you see on the screen, right? Whether shadowing, anti-aliasing, bit mapping, everything. So you could kind of configure it to your older hardware and still run it. Now I can't take you back to, obviously the cheaper your hardware is, you're gonna have to find it very difficult to run these systems, because of the technology that's being used. So, normally you just, you hope that you could run it at a medium setting at the very least against some sort of, immersion, or as to what the developer was trying to do with the game.
Yeah, and and let me chime in on that. And I'm not, as smart as Henyo when it comes to the computers and stuff. But what I do understand about consoles, and have come to understand is that you have a closed boxed system, and the architecture that these last gen consoles, our PS4 Pro, our PS4 OG Xbox, and Xbox respectively. It was a different architecture. So these new systems that we got now, these new consoles, they're running on a different architecture, a different chip.
Mhm.
And that plays a big part because you're not cutting and pasting anything from
Mhm.
last gen into this gen, and that's just putting it simple. There is no such thing as just cut and paste. Okay, it was not that easy, but you're literally building games from the ground up, and that's something that Xbox has been working on for quite some time, and that's why the backwards compatibility is such a big deal, because they've been able over the years, and we're talking about a bunch of years, okay, maybe 10 years at this point, that they took the time to make sure that they built that into their games, so that when we were to be here where we're at now, that 4 generations back, we would still be able to play these games on our consoles. That's that's never been done before, okay? That's been done on PC, because with PC, you can get in there, pull out your CPU, your GPU, your RAM, change your motherboard. You can do these things. But on a console, you're talking about quite literally changing the whole architecture. And so it's not like PC that gives you that flexibility to go in there, swap out a couple of things, and up-res your game. Um, it just doesn't work that way, and
Mhm.
and I think as much as we want to call these consoles PCs, they are PC like, but they're not full blown PCs. You're not running Windows. You're not going to do your taxes on
Yeah.
these consoles, okay? These are plug and
Probably.
play machines, okay? Um, and so we always have to take that into account as well, because people are like, "Oh, these are just PCs, and why can't they just, put the game on here and just, click a button?" It's not that easy. It's not at all. And
Uh,
as long as consoles exist, that's what they're going to be. They're going to be closed box systems that, depending on the chipset that's in there and the tech and whatever, we might be upgrading here in 5 years. Who knows?
That's true.
That's the way of the console. Right now we're amazed, and we're like, oh, we don't even have next gen gaming. And you're right, we don't have next gen gaming on consoles. Give it 2 years. I'm not even gonna say next year. Give it till 2022, and you're gonna start seeing, the power of these systems. But by that time, take a look at what PC's doing, and I guarantee you that PC's gonna be miles ahead. That's just the
right.
reality.
To jump in on that, guys, the companies to watch that usually take these systems and push their powers to unfathomable heights. One to watch in the coming years is going to be Santa Monica and the new God of War.
Hmm.
All right, Santa Monica has always pushed all the systems to the limit. Every PlayStation, if you played God of War on PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4, they always pushed the power of the system,
And
and they
I'm gonna
did it
jump
with
in on that, Jay. It's not that it's Santa Monica, it's the talent at Santa Monica. It's
Absolutely.
those
yeah. Okay,
developers, because you have the potential in any of these developers, okay? You have it in Ubisoft, CD Project Red, The Initiative. Go down the list, okay?
and
But
Soft.
Santa Monica learns the system, the PlayStation that they develop for, that's what they develop for. They don't develop for anything else. They learn it, they study it, they master it, and then they produce their game. And
They
and
max it
that,
out to its core ability.
yeah, kudos to them. Because when a game comes out from another developer and you're like, dang, like this game feels like it's missing something, 99% of the time, you're probably right, because that developer did not take the time, the additional time, to actually get in there and get deeper, to master it. And that's what Sucker Punch did with Ghost of Tsushima on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro at the end of the generation. That's
Yep.
what The Last of Us 2 did, regardless of whether you like the game or not. These people developed on this game for years and years and years, and gave another banger at the end of a console generation. Why?
They did-
Because they
did-
intimately knew the system already.
So,
San
you
Diego
know,
Studios is like that with MLB The Show.
Yeah.
yeah,
You were just
they-
saying it at before we went live, right? Like, could this game get any better?
Year in, year out.
Yeah.
The studio does a phenomenal job. And I want to give this guy credit, but I don't have his name handy right here. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah, it's these things that in this year, in 2020, I've sat back as a gamer and I have thought about, my hobby. I've been thankful for being able to game, not carry that stigma, that shame. I think we were mentioning it earlier. If you got past a certain age, you were just thought of as being foolish or childish because, hey, you're grown now. You got kids. You shouldn't be playing. Like, we're past that. I don't have any shame telling people I'm a gamer. I'm 46. I game. That's my hobby. That's what I do. I don't go clubbing. I don't go drinking. I don't do none of these things. I game. That's my thing.
ladies and gentlemen,
and I'm not
AA
ashamed.
For gamers.
What's that? What's that, Jay?
I was like, we're doing AA for gamers right now. Let it out.
No, but I'm just saying that, how things have changed. And here we are, 20 years into the 21st century. I know where I was in 2020. I know what I was doing. I know what games I was playing. And I would have never thought that 20 years in, we would have, first of all, the amount of games that we have. We have games galore. We have games that we will never play. We will never know of. I mean, we got games of all shapes and sizes, accessibility to games. Again, I always cheerlead Game Pass. We have an amazing service in Game Pass that just lets you go in there for a subscription. Man, growing up, I wish $15 a month, which I don't pay because I use Bing points, but $15 a month or $10 a month, to think growing up that I would have had access to $200, to 200 games for $10 a month. Blockbuster and Hollywood Video would have been out of business a long time ago.
Well, we had Sega Channel. It worked for a short amount of time.
Oh, come on. I want to talk about something that worked. Not no Sega Channel.
It did work. Sega Channel worked.
There was nothing, but nothing. It wouldn't even compare to what Game Pass is right now. And I don't care whether people like it or not, hate it or not, criticize it or not. It's the best. It's the best deal in gaming, in my opinion. But that's 2020 for you. I mean, that's blown up. It continues to grow. We have games. I got games in my backlog that are like 2 years old, 2-3 years old, and maybe even more. But I'm grateful. I know that 2020 has been hard on a lot of people. It's been harder on others, on some more than others. But for me, 2020 is not a year that I'm like, oh man, good riddance. because a lot of good has come out of it. You know, it's personally, it's made me think of where are my priorities, what's important to me, what's important to my family. It's made me cut a lot of unnecessary things out of my life. And as far as gaming, I've been enjoying gaming now more than ever. And I don't know if that's a consensus here, but that's just my take
Yeah,
on it.
yeah. I was in a gaming funk for a while, but 2020 did do a lot of things. I agree with End Time on this one. As much as a lot of people can talk about the negative, because let's be honest, most people are going to remember 2020 as being one of the most negative years you can think of. But there's a lot of good that came out of 2020. I gamed a lot more. I grew closer to people. You know, I met End Time this year. That was some of the best times.
Oh yeah, that was a highlight. We got to crash your
Yeah,
place.
yeah, man. We had a good time too. So you know, there's a lot of good I can say. And gaming wise, you know, we're keeping it, 2020 about gaming. Yeah, it doesn't matter how old the game is, whether it's recent, whether it's old. If you're gaming, you're gaming.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Pop says in the room, I'm just waiting for a battle pass for Game Pass. Spend 100 hours playing Game Pass games to unlock 20 more free games. And he will too.
Man, Pop,
Cause that man don't sleep.
man, man, I think Pop be drinking, and I don't know what to say about that dude. He just be on it.
Yeah,
Just want to add a note here.
Go ahead.
Ramon Russell runs the San Diego studio for MLB The Show.
Mm.
Talk about running a tight ship with a bunch of guys that know what they're doing. Again, very impressed with the game year in, year out, and that type of powerhouse leadership makes the game good. They know the system. They know the boundaries. They know okay, we can't make it here. We're gonna make it here, and they're able to polish off the game in that respect. So shout out to Ramon Russell for running an awesome team over there in San Diego studios.
Yeah, most definitely,
But
man.
hey, shout out to you guys. Keep up the good work out there.
Yeah, because there are some good developers out there. Not all of them are gonna throw out a piece of junk. They'll take the time. Yeah, they're under a lot of constraint. They start early. The minute that they release the game, they're already focused for the next year. And they say they'll spend time with you on release days and stuff like that. But once the game is a couple of weeks in, they're already looking at what they're gonna be doing next year. They already got that roadmap laid out, and any good plan will be executed properly, so I'm going to say it right here, right now, to go to the next level, you have to take it to the next level. And that's what a good development does.
Look at him.
Yeah. Pop says in the chat, I can't even drink anymore. Ha ha ha. Been sober for about 4 to 5 months.
Congratulations, baby.
Good. Yeah. Cheers. Here's to you.
Man, cheers for that.
Yeah. And Pops, last time I spoke to Pops about, I don't know, maybe it was like a month or so, he was going to be a grandfather twice. So, yeah, he need to get his energy up for them grandkids that are coming. So,
okay, I got a question for you guys, and I'm going to make this fun. We're entering new generation of gaming, right? So I want each of you to name one retro game from any doesn't matter where it's from, that you would like to see remastered or redone on the new gen.
Yeah, I think I've dreamt about this.
we're gonna cut Henyo loose on that one. Then go ahead before he pops.
That brother say I dreamt about this.
He dreamed about this.
No, it's actually been released already. It's on the PC side. I don't think you heard too much of it on the console side. I think it was more of a a property of Steam type of game. Road Rash.
I remember that.
God, I spent so much time on Road Rash, and I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's being sold under in in Steam. It's something like Road Redemption or something like that. It's not called exactly Road Rash, but the concept is there with the new gen graphics. So that type of gameplay, I really I was really hoping that it was. I think it was made by EA, correct?
You are correct.
It was. You are correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, EA wasn't part of this one, or maybe it was a good thing that it weren't part of this one. And it's a low profile game right now, but it was a game that I was like, man, I wish they would remake it, and they kind of did remake it.
I remember Road Rash, man. That was
Road Rash
fun.
was a lot of fun. Clubbing your.
You had to be a special individual to make it through it all.
I'm pretty sure I have more titles in my head, but that was just one that actually came to fruition. Is it a top seller? No, I mean, but I got to play it, and it was always like, you saw the pixelated version of these motorcycles and those hilltops and those, up and down seesawing motion, and I was like, man, I wish that game would come true.
Yeah, Road Rash was a game that I actually checked out because I enjoyed playing Hang On.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I said, yeah, this got to be cool. It's a motorcycle, and you can get to smash people's faces in. It's pretty cool. So, a game that bless you, a game that actually was announced at the Game Awards that I've never played, and even the announcement or the rumor until they confirmed it, I wasn't even interested in until after the fact. Like after I went back and saw the trailer and looked at the developer interview. Perfect Dark.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Perfect Dark. But I'm coming from a place, and let me be clear, I'm coming from a place that I've never played the original, so I don't have any nostalgia. I don't know anything about the story. I know the character's name is Joanna Dark. She's supposed to be some sort of a spy or something. But what caught my attention was the developer interview after the Game Awards. I went back and I looked it up. And I think I mentioned it to Jay. After I saw the developer interview and they were talking about what they're planning for the game and what the vision is, because the game is not even anywhere near being done. I think it's in its infancy. But it gave me that vibe that I haven't had since The Division. And I actually want to follow this game because I followed The Division from the very beginning when it was just concept art, okay? And that's how I feel about Perfect Dark. So I'm going to be digging into any like news on it, articles, whatever. I'm going to follow that game because if it's even remotely what they were talking about, like what they want to bring to the table, I think it's going to be a special game. And, it might just be one of those games that I get, wrapped up in like I did with The Division. Just the world and the story and just the whole concept of the game, the whole idea of the game. It sounds like that to me. So we'll see. We shall see. They have high expectations, calling themselves a quadruple studio. So let's see what they produce. I'm keeping my, my expectations down, but I'm really interested to see what the initiative puts out as these next couple of years pass by. So what about you, Jay? I'm sure you have a shopping list.
Oh man, I could rant on for days about that. First I'm gonna say Sleek. This one's for you. It's definitely going to be an RPG, and it was released on the PlayStation 1, and it is called Legend of Dragoon. And if they took the power of PlayStation 5, remade and remastered that RPG, Legend of Dragoon, it'll sell systems right away. Easy.
So you're talking about a remaster of this RPG?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
A remaster, not a remake, a remaster. Why not a remake?
You can remake it. You can remaster it.
How
I'll
would
take
you
a
remake
remake it.
it? How would you remake Dragoon, Legend of Dragoon?
Yeah, you should look it up. Man, I
I'm
mean, I
familiar
would
with it. That's why I'm asking you.
see. I would go the Final Fantasy VII route remake. I mean, if you're going, because the game's a classic, it's definitely not going to be super difficult. You're probably going to they're either going to change something about the system, whether it be the gameplay or the battle system, which you can either do a new style or retro style, depending on which one you want to do. Of course, you can add more to the story because I mean the game was anticipated when the game came out. It came out like right after the Final Fantasy VII boom kind of died off.
Hmm.
So when Final Fantasy VII came out, everybody's like, "Oh, Final Fantasy VII is like, you know, that thing." And then right when Final Fantasy VII was dying, the Legend of Goon just kind of popped out of nowhere. And then when you played the game, you were like, "Wow, okay, this is not what I expect. This game is awesome. It will work." There are people out there that swear by this game. If you haven't played it, I recommend you play it. Legend of Dragoon is an awesome RPG, and and those of you out there listening right now, throw it out there in the chat. Your retro game you want to see on next gen. Let us hear what you think.
Yeah, I think when I think about like these retro games that could be either remastered or just reimagined, I think of those games as a excellent opportunity to be made and put on Game Pass. Just so that it has that visibility. Because you're talking about games that are retro and a lot of people just don't know. And just for the exposure, I would put them on Game Pass and let people be exposed to them, and hopefully it sparks an interest in someone who would have probably never given it a second look just because they're not familiar with it like you and I are. So let's see. I'm just trying to catch the chat here. Pop says Ogre Battle March of the Black Queen. Now I've never heard of that.
Wow, that brother went back to Ogre, but that was a tactical. It was a tactical RPG. Good choice, Pops.
Mm.
Good choice.
Tactical RPG. Yep.
Yeah, have you ever played games like that? It's kind of like a fantasy game, but it's kind of like with chess. Everybody has their own kind of move and special
Yeah.
amount of power.
I've played, tactical RPGs and stuff. Not really my genre. I don't really play like RTS games either. I just don't have like the patience for them. And it's kind of funny because I do like playing chess, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just never been like the game you guys see. If you guys are watching this on stream, on video, I'm playing The Last Campfire. This is not even, it's towards the beginning of the game. No spoilers, I think. But the game has just this really nice story. And the puzzles are really good, really well made. And this is kind of like the games that I like to like just chill with, when I need to like kind of cleanse the palate because I've been playing something else, and kind of cleanse the palate and just, come back to something that's just gonna like reset me before I jump into something else that's hot and heavy. So, but yeah, anything else as we are looking to wrap up here? We're about an hour and a half into it already. 2020. I mean, some people are going to be like, good riddance, I'm done. Other people are like, hey, you know what? The year was a year of reflection. What do you think is 2021? What would you like 2021 to look like? And I leave it wide open. You can talk about gaming. You can talk about just anything. 2021. What can we expect? What are you expecting?
I think it's going to be an extension more of this year. By probably by summertime we'll start seeing a little bit of change. a little bit more lax environment. But for the most part, the first half of the new year is going to be more of the same. Lockdowns and stuff like that. Hopefully, the weather will turn better, and people will get the flu less, and everyone will be well vaccinated and feel more freedom to move about, and restrictions will be lifted. That'll be towards the end of the year, and gaming will always still be there. You'll be waiting for the next wave of games that are going to come out for the Christmas season. So just an extension more of this year, I believe.
Okay. How about you, Jay?
2021. I really don't know. I take every day as it comes. As far as gaming goes, uh, I hope for the best. I hope that we as gamers and developers and whatever kind of side you stand on, that we grow from the things that we have failed on this year, and we grow from things that we have succeeded. Sometimes give companies a chance out there. I know I've talked my smack about Anthem, but I'm gonna go ahead and say a year in review. I can't wait to play Anthem 2.0. I thought you guys had a great game in Anthem. It just went terribly wrong. So I am excited about Anthem 2.0. Show me something good, and you will get my money.
Again.
That's for damn. Again.
Again. Yeah. I mean, I think that making no excuses, kind of piggyback on what you're saying and then put my own thoughts into it. But that's part of the territory with gaming. We have certain expectations. Marketing is good at selling us something that maybe we're already imagining, but it's not really the actual product. And for that, I kind of congratulate them and kind of point the finger at us and say at the end, we're the ones responsible to do a little bit more homework before we go and put our hard-earned money down. 2021, I really do hope that we don't forget 2020. I hope 2021 builds on the things we've learned, the appreciation that we've come to have for one another. I'm thankful for you, Jay, for being able to go and meet you and hang out, enjoy your hospitality. We just lounged. It was my 46th birthday. Spend it there with you and my brother, and I didn't feel like you was a stranger ever. Henyo, I'm glad that here towards the tail of 2020, you came out of nowhere. If there was a person that I would have never imagined and least expected to have gotten excited, I don't even know what it was that you heard or how you even came across the podcast or whatever, but I just remember you making the comment, and I just reached out to you, I think, and said, hey, you should just come on board, and here you are.
I'll tell you what I heard.
What was that?
You know what I heard? I heard ladies of the jury.
It was Jay, huh?
I said I had ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
That was it. That's what drew you in.
I was hooked.
That's crazy. That's funny.
I said that. Are you jiving with me right now? Cause about to make right.
Getting that love, Jay. You're getting that love. I just know Henyo was. I'm sure Henyo like us, cause it's like I don't know, Jay, but it's always like I feel like we've always been together. Like we've been doing this for like years and years and years. It almost feels like we're sitting, on a porch somewhere, drinking some lemonade or something, and just shooting the breeze. And that's what it's all about. It's just, sharing our passion, having a good time, trying to just decompress and disconnect. That's what we do. We do it naturally. That's what this podcast is about. It's not really anything that we're looking to make a second career out of. And as far
No,
as, the channel and content, it might not be the best, it might not be the greatest. It's okay. We enjoy this. I enjoy it, and I enjoy my time with you guys. So I hope
Amen.
2021 just lets us build on it. So that's my hopes. Yeah.
go ahead and
Go ahead,
Let it go.
Henyo.
No, I echo the same sentiments. It's been a blessing. It's been just a break away from the norm for me, and great company, great topics, and a good community out here reaching out to us. So I'm grateful for that, and I look forward to the coming years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Cool.
Oh,
Cool.
so
Yeah.
back to one of your points that you just made. I want to say this to all you guys, whether you listen to this podcast or not. We all have an opinion, whether you love it or you hate it. And I respect any and everyone's opinion on no matter what it is. Whether it be your favorite game, your favorite character, your favorite actor, I don't care. It's your opinion whether you like it or not. But respect everybody's opinion. Some of these fights that people start are stupid. Somebody says something stupid, respect the opinion. You ain't gotta like it, but just respect it. Some of these fights be grown people, grown ass men. Well, this person really, man, shut up. Just let it go. Gaming is a great community. There are great people out here. And you can have great conversations about gaming. We do it on this podcast. Remember, sometimes I look like a jerk on here, but at least I stand for what I love in gaming, and I'm willing to have that conversation with anybody. And I will respect that. I respect you. So let's respect each other. And let's keep this gaming world wonderful.
Yeah, and
Keep it
I'm
happy.
glad you brought that up, Jay, because a lot of toxicity or that's out there, a lot of nonsense, heated arguments over, who's a fanboy of what. Hey, just do your gaming. But I will say both of you guys have restored that faith in me to actually game with other people. Um, you know, I usually was the solo player. My games I can sit, play on my own, but after doing this and hanging out with you guys and hanging out with the DFG community and meeting a lot of other people like Almost, Dusty, Mangry, the list just goes on, Pops, Nate, all these people, are some I know, some I've never met, but it's like I've known you guys. And really, when I say that I consider you guys family, it's because of that. Because it's not just the gaming, it's that we've been able to connect and share some laughs. We've been able to share some personal things. You guys have given me the opportunity to even, mention you in my prayers. And we might not have all the same beliefs and all that other stuff, but you guys are a family to me. And that's something that if gaming brought that about, then I'm thankful for it, man. I'm grateful. And I don't want to spend my time fighting and bickering, when I could just be forming these relationships again, even if they are far away, distant relationships. They're real. They mean something to me, man. I know that I'm not gonna grow old and be a hermit, because that was the path I was going down. Just being a hermit. But gaming doesn't allow that, and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for that, man. On a personal level, I've shared it before, and I'll share it briefly. I've always struggled with, depression at times, where the world just becomes gray, and gaming has been therapeutic. Gaming has pulled me out of that and doesn't allow me to go into a dark place and shut myself in, because I know that there's people there, and I don't have to tell people anything. They just know, and they say, yo, let's go, let's roll. And we either grab our rifles or, our favorite weapon and hunt some monsters or whatever it is, and that means a lot. It means more than what you guys will ever know coming from me personally. So that's my 2 cents. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Oh, you got anything to throw on there, you?
Pop says, if you can put up with me, you're golden. Pops, I love you. I tell you that. And I tell you that you're also a pain in my ass. And, whenever I can tolerate Pops for a while, I let him know. And whenever he get on my nerves, I let him know. But that's why I love Pops, because, he don't get butthurt about things. He knows. He knows himself better than we know him. And I'm sure that...
Man, look.
I get on people's nerves as well, but it's all good. That's what family does.
Man, look, Pop's an old coot that ain't got nothing else better to do. Play games and talk noise. And he will do that all day long.
Yeah. I still want to go and meet Pops. I want to go see this man. I want to go share a meal with this man. And I don't know, Pops might be some lunatic or something, but I want to meet him. I want to shake his hand. I want to look at him in the eye and be like, okay, I've come to know who you are and I'm good.
I might have to be with you on that one because I want to meet Pops too. I want to see if he's going to have one of them big hillbilly beards. I expect Pops to have like this long beard and, he just be stroking it. Like, that's how I see Pops talking all that noise.
I don't know about the beard, man. I think I seen a picture of Pops and he's a big bald-headed dude, bro, with tattoos. Yeah, he a scary looking guy.
I ain't worried about Pop, man.
Oh man, Pop says, yeah, well, you suck at puzzle games. Yes, I do. I do suck at puzzle games. You can see me struggling in this footage, right? That brother said, it's put the lotion on its skin. Okay. I'm telling you, I would have never met these characters if it wasn't for just saying, hey, you know what? I'm just going to jump on and do this thing and see what comes out of it. So it's all good, man. Well, I'm ready to shut it down, guys. If you ain't got nothing else to say, I'm not trying to drag this out no more. Maybe Jay can give us the closing line here.
Oh, okay, but Henyo.
What up, man?
I'm the only I haven't went on a gaming adventure with you yet.
All right.
2021. That's gotta happen.
All right, let's write it down. We're gonna do this.
I don't care what it is. It has to be a gaming adventure we gotta take.
Yeah. I'll put myself out there. It's not like I haven't tried. I've been online and been playing. We actually hooked up. We played golf during your absence, but we'll definitely get online and hook up and we'll definitely have a great time. I know that for sure.
Yes, sir. And to those who have been waiting, it looks like it's about that time to shut it down. So, to all my people out there in the audience and those who listen and who don't, it's your time and it's your money. Use it and spend it wisely. Have a good night.
Amen.
All right. And with that, we're going to shut it down, people. Be good, do good, and as always, keep your life and your gaming drama-free. Later, people.
Good Lord.
Mm-hmm.